Cameras twist toward Vivian Monroe the instant the hostess raises a cream card. "Old friends," she announces, loud enough for the press row. A single step backwards, and Vivian disappears into the elevator. A single step forward, and Daniel Park's party swallows her humiliation whole. I watch from the ballroom threshold. Vivian's bracelets clink as she steadies herself. Burnt orange cardigan sliding from one shoulder. A queen mistaken for luggage. The hostess gestures toward table 12, where investors and distant cousins sip champagne, already leaning to see the fallen wife. Above them, gold letters glitter against orchids. "Congratulations, Daniel and Yuna." The younger woman isn't even in the room, yet her name steals the air. Vivian's fingers tighten around a velvet pouch in her palm. Later, I'll learn the wedding ring inside weighs barely 3 grams. Tonight, it drags on her like an anchor. "Mr. Park asked that you be seated before his entrance," the hostess says, tone sweet but final. Daniel wants Vivian displayed, labeled, defeated before he crosses the marble. Flashbulbs pop. Someone whispers, "Is that the ex-wife?" The word, ex-dar, slices deeper than the lenses. If she flees, gossip paints her unstable by sunrise. If she obeys, the banner above the arch finishes what their divorce decree began. She turns, elevator behind her, long corridor ahead. Nowhere that isn't a story Daniel already owns. Then her eyes lock on me. Seo Jae-Min, the shadow who once filed papers that erased her co-founder title because loyalty paid better than truth. The shame in my spine is an old, familiar iron. She crosses the lobby fast, cardigan swaying like a battle flag others can't read. "Walk me in," she breathes. A dozen microphones hover, hungry. "Vivian." Her voice drops to a razor whisper. "Pretend you still want me before he walks in with her." Behind us, a coordinator's headset crackles. 2 minutes to couple entrance. Daniel Park's silhouette appears at the far glass doors. White suit, blue-tinted glasses, the city lights crowning him. I have seconds. Betray the man who shaped my career, or abandon the woman he's about to bury in public. I don't pretend desire. My pulse hammers. Cameras zoom. She flinches. I offer my hand, step into the flash. I never stopped. Flashes detonate from 3 news drones circling the corridor. Their live feeds tag Vivian Monroe, ex-wife, unexpected. Sentence 4, and my reputation teeters. Guide her to Daniel's old friends table and survive as silent muscle, or defy the man who still signs my consultancy retainer. I lace my fingers through hers. The hostess's smile falters. Security lenses zoom. If I retreat, Vivian is branded desperate, and every contract I wrote for Park Industries keeps me complicit. 60 words in, handbank directors step from the ballroom, phones streaming. One sneers. "Asset recovery, Chairman?" Witnesses triple. I redirect Vivian toward the family aisle. Murmurs spike. My former protege, Chief Lee, blocks us with a silver tablet flashing a private directive. Reseat Monroe or escort her out. Accept and I remain Daniel's obedient ghost. Refuse and Lee will humiliate us on camera. At the 120-word marker, Yuna glides up, bouquet poised like evidence. "Mr. Seo, this area is for future family." Her stage whisper lands on 100 viewers. Moral exposure deepens. Vivian inhales. If she replies, tabloids feast. I bow to to Yuna, not Daniel, then announce, Ms. Han has my gratitude for welcoming my guest. Polite subversion. Legal risk rises as Daniel's lawyers record every syllable for defamation leverage. 180 words. Daniel himself appears, envelope in hand, NDA money visible. Escort her outside, sign, and all is forgiven. He counts on my guilt. I tear the envelope. Bills flutter like confetti of ruined silence. Gasps crackle. Lee radios for removal. Vivian squeezes my palm, whispering, If you walk now, they'll decide I begged alone. Decision locked. I guide her forward, ignoring Lee's order. Final escalation. A board member, eyes on share price, shouts, Seo Jae-Min, you hold no seating authority. I plant Vivian's old friends card on a vacant VIP plate, flip it blank, and sit. Cameras swing. Daniel must react or lose his myth. Press drones hover above the ballroom threshold, streaming Daniel Park's engagement gala to every Han Bank screen in Seoul. If I enter with Vivian, they capture a live insurrection. If I flinch, she becomes a discarded wife, searching for any arm. Daniel's security chief, my former subordinate, bars the carpet, E-badge glowing. Obey, and I confirm his seating plan. Refuse, and the man who once answered to me ejects us on camera. I squeeze Vivian's hand and guide her forward. The guard steps aside but mutters, Board already voted you non-executive. 30 guests swivel. Yuna glides into frame, bouquet lifted like a verdict. Mr. Seo, Daniel promised no old attachments at the family table. Murmurs spike. Witness count tripled. Yuna's smile tells viewers I'm trespassing on a marriage not yet signed. If I retreat now, Vivian becomes proof that power ages like milk. A Han compliance lawyer intercepts us, holding a silver tablet that flashes a clause I once drafted. Unauthorized seat changes, void confidentiality protections, legal stake, speak, and every contract I signed for Daniel becomes admissible. Vivian's voice barely stirs air. They'll spin your silence into consent. She is right. I announce, loud enough for the microphones. Clause null. My signature predates today's board. Gasps. The lawyer's eyes narrow. Moral exposure lands on me, not her. Daniel himself strides over, white suit immaculate, mic clipped to his lapel. Seo Jae-Min, escort Ms. Monroe to table 12 or leave my premises. My former loyalty dangles like a noose. Vivian tightens her grip. I bow, but not to Daniel, to the nearest waiter. Remove the chair beside Chairman Park. The waiter obeys. Guests gasp a second time. Vivian sits where the bride's mother was meant to shine, earrings catching every flash. I drop Daniel's discarded old friends card onto his empty plate and take the seat at her side. Daniel's smile hardens. He turns toward the stage, gesturing the MC to bring the first toast forward. 500 eyes and a live feed waiting to see how he salvages control. A boom mic hovers above our stolen VIP seats, broadcasting Daniel Park's engagement dinner to shareholders refreshing stock tickers in real time. Yuna Han glides over, bouquet tucked like evidence, bridesmaids' phones aimed for a viral cut. Every pixel she captures can price me out of Seoul tomorrow. Her voice, honeyed. Mr. Seo, how long have you and Ms. Monroe been close? 4 sentences in, and I must either lie, perjury on 1,000 feeds, or speak, detonating Daniel's past and my own. Han financiers lean forward. If I invent a date, they'll demand records. Witness count triples. I angle my body so cameras catch my profile, not Vivian's. Long enough. I start, but Yuna presses, "When Daniel and Vivian were still married?" Gasps. Legal risk spikes. Defamation against a bride protected by 2 dynasties. Vivian's knuckles whiten around her velvet pouch. What I lose now is the thin presumption of loyalty left in this room. 60 more words and Yuna twists harder. "Did your relationship begin before or after Ms. Monroe signed away her shares?" External auditor Ms. Cho raises an eyebrow. Moral exposure blooms. They're baiting me to confirm the forged waiver. I pivot. Ms. Monroe never relinquished value, only silence. Camera zoom. Board counsel whispers to Daniel. He can sue instantly. I can't unsay the line. Vivian's stare burns. Truth costs her safety too, but lying buries her name forever. Decision locks. I slide the old friend's card across the linen toward Yuna. Our history predates that label. I flip the card. Blank side up. Future unwritten. Murmurs ripple. Yuna's smile thins. She turns to Daniel. Voice turned mic live. "Chairman, your guest claims a legal irregularity. Shall we invite the auditors?" Daniel hesitates. If he denies her request, he undermines his fiancée on camera. If he accepts, he opens the company books. I rise with Vivian. "Your table, Chairman." The mic catches the challenge. Daniel is cornered into public transparency or personal betrayal. Either choice shreds his perfect evening. Daniel taps the live stream mic. Every screen in the ballroom blinks red rec, ready to seal reputations in a single sentence. "Chairman Park," the MC prompts, but Daniel ignores him, fixing on me and Vivian. "Seo Jae-Min, tell our guests, were you protecting my wife back then or sampling her?" So by sentence 4, I must admit adultery to hundreds, or brand Vivian a liar, and myself the coward who watched her vanish. Witness escalation. Han patriarch stand. Their lawyers frame screenshots. If I accuse Daniel of forging their alliance, their funds freeze mine tomorrow. I answer, my loyalty never reached your bedroom. Daniel smiles. A trap closing. He lifts Vivian's untouched champagne. Because she preferred basement corridors? Gasps. The moral stake flips. Vivian now painted as secret lover, not discarded partner. My pulse hammers. If she speaks, tabloids feast on desperate ex. Next wave. Daniel's legal aid produces a tablet showing time-stamped security clips of Vivian and me outside his office years ago. Context. She was delivering audit files, cropped away. Daniel offers the device to a gossip anchor. Once aired, narrative hardens. Vivian whispers, they'll splice anything. I nod, stepping between camera and tablet. Higher legal risk. Obstruction. Release the full footage, I demand. Daniel counters, expose her? Very well, but you sign liability. His pen hovers over a waiver that would cripple us financially if clips are misinterpreted. Choice locks at word 180. I grab the pen, then snap it, ink splattering Daniel's cuff. Laughter and horror collide. Sponsors record everything. Release all files, I say, or admit you doctor evidence. Daniel's grin dies. He signals tech to dim screens. Cowardice visible to every investor. He rotates toward Vivian, voice dripping. Apologize for misleading my friend, and I'll spare your reputation. She lifts her velvet pouch, opens it, and lets the wedding ring drop, metallic onto his plate. Promise reversed. She will not beg. Ceiling camera blinks red, streaming my voice to Daniel's lawyers in real time. Vivian and I face Chief Lee in the narrow service corridor. Fluorescent glare hard as judgment. His tablet shows the forged waiver I typed 3 years ago. Sentence 4. Admit I drafted it and kill my name. Or deny and bury Vivian again on an unerasable feed. Witness tier rises. Behind Lee, Ms. Cho from Han Compliance arrives with 2 junior auditors recording on phones. Han Money will yank funding if they smell fraud. Lee states, sign a fresh statement confirming Ms. Monroe's voluntary exit, and we escort you back. If I sign, Vivian loses her founding claim. Refuse, and Cho files obstruction charges before dessert. Vivian's whisper cuts. The truth hurts less when it's spoken once. Another 70 words, and Daniel joins, white cuff still stained with pen ink. He plays savior. I'll spare everyone embarrassment if Jae-Min corrects last hour's confusion. He hands a live mic for the corridor feed. Moral exposure, now public. My pulse spikes. The camera's LED reflects in Vivian's earrings like a countdown. I say, Chairman, release the full audit trail. Daniel smirks, flipping to a clip of me delivering boxes to legal, frames cropped to suggest secret meetings. Cho eyes me. Perjury risk doubles. Choice locks at the 180-word mark. I step past Lee, press my thumb to the tablet, and append a note. Signature invalid. Document created under Directive D Park 1209 Exus. Gasps. Cho snaps a photo. Evidence against Daniel. Security reaches for cuffs. Vivian blocks them with her velvet pouch, ring gleaming. Touch him, she says, and the Han board receives that file before the toast ends. Lee freezes. Chain of command fractures on camera. Daniel's smile dies. Very well, he hisses. We'll settle this on stage. You want truth, Seo? Then stand beside her when the world hears it. He pivots, ordering the MC to reopen the live feed for a corrective announcement. Security floodlights glare. Chief Lee's body cam streams live to Daniel's legal team, while a Han guard shoves a fat manila envelope against my chest. Sentence 4. Forces my choice. Sign the packet, escort Vivian out, and let the world believe she sold her shares. Or refuse, and have us dragged off-site as trespassers. I open the flap, cash bricks, a one-way ticket, and a waiver bearing Vivian's forged signature, dated the night Daniel first erased her name. If I acknowledge that document, every lie I protected becomes fact. First escalation. Witness tier doubles. 2 investment bloggers sprint down the ramp, phones recording. Lee announces, Ms. Monroe agreed to depart voluntarily. We're honoring her privacy. Privacy means silence. Cash means complicity. I hold the waiver to the blogger's lens. Voluntary? I ask. The red REC icon blinks. Han shareholders watching will question anything that smells like coercion. Daniel's empire trembles on optics, mine on perjury. 60 more words. Higher legal bite. Ms. Cho from Compliance arrives, breathless, waving a cease recording order. Data privacy breach. Delete that footage. Delete and the forged waiver survives. Keep filming and I violate corporate secrecy. Vivian steps forward, voice steady. 1 clip to every journalist if that paper moves an inch closer to evidence shredder. Cho hesitates. Moral exposure flips. Pressing a woman of color with hush money looks catastrophic on livestream. Decision locks at the 180-word mark. I tear the waiver in half. Inked lies flutter across polished concrete like dark confetti. Lee grips my arm. Pistons hiss as security gate rolls to seal us in. Access revoked. If that gate shuts, we're property no court will rescue tonight. Vivian presses her wedding ring against the gate sensor. Metal on metal scream. Sparks fly. The mechanism jams half open. Her glare at me is command, not plea. Find proof that can't be ripped. I nod, pulling her through the stalled bars. Archive sublevel. 10 minutes. I promise. Because once Daniel discovers his private garage feed is still broadcasting, he'll race us for the originals. Hall security loudspeakers blare. Level 17 lockdown. Detain Seo Jae-Min and Vivian Monroe. 3 doors ahead, glimmer with biometric locks. If I hesitate, guard footage will brand us fugitives before Han markets open. Sentence 4. Sprint to the executive lounge and risk capture on camera, or retreat and let Daniel edit our flight into cowardice. I drag Vivian forward. Losing now means her story ends as middle-aged ex causing a scene. Witness tier jumps. The elevator opens to Yuna Han, flanked by 2 PR influencers already live streaming. She tilts her phone so thousands read a trending headline. Grandma gate crashes fiancé reveal. Vivian's jaw sets. Answer and she confirms the smear. Stay silent and the label sticks. I announce, founding partner Monroe requests document review. The influencers gasp. Legal stake climbs. Yuna laughs. Founding partner. Daniel said you retired with grace. She lets the word hang like a stale perfume. Next escalation. Daniel steps from the lounge, holding the emergency archive keycard we need. Age grants perspective. He says to the cameras, Ms. Monroe taught me to plan exits. He offers Vivian a silk scarf, the brand's retirement gift line. Visual humiliation. Vivian's hand trembles near her velvet pouch. If she throws the scarf, tabloids spin her unhinged. I intercept, knotting it around my wrist instead. I'll keep your memory of her warm, I say, daring Daniel to expose why he carries that keycard personally. Decision locks at 180 words. Daniel smiles for the feed. Mr. Seo's gallantry hides guilt. He once filmed every late-night meeting with my wife. He flashes a tablet showing a blurry still of us in 4 a.m. lighting. Moral exposure sharpened. Implied affair. Vivian speaks first. Voice low, lethal. Play the audio. Daniel hesitates. He never kept sound, knowing it proved business, not pleasure. Cameras zoom. His pause enters the public record. I step closer, wrist scarf burning, and point at the keycard. Open the archive live, Chairman. Show them whether you stored documents or fantasies. The influencers cheer conflict. Yuna's smile cracks. Daniel must unlock the sublevel or admit fear of what's inside. Stage security speakers bark. Level 17 lockdown. Detain Monroe and SEO on site. 3 biometric doors ahead. Blink red. Freeze and guards film our capture. Sprint and the feed shows corporate sabotage. Sentence 4. Barricade this bridal lounge and look like kidnappers. Or keep it open and invite Daniel's men to erase us live. I shut the door halfway, speed over siege, knowing reputations bleed faster than bodies. Exactly as planned, Yuna sweeps in with 2 livestream vloggers, view count climbing. She lays her ivory train on a chaise, purrs. Older women panic around lights. Dim those, please. I leave the bulbs hard, every crease on our faces public. Yuna displays a notarized settlement, offering Vivian retirement if she signs within 60 seconds. Document edges glint. My own digital signature hides beneath Daniel's header, software I built for silent exits. Accept and I confirm forging her erasure. Refuse and Yuna markets mercy toward a fading woman. Vivian whispers, your guilt isn't my coffin. I face the stream. Any contract with my seal demands live countersign. I slice my thumb, smear fresh blood over the QR code. Evidence of fraud in scarlet. Guards slam the door. Cho shouts, "Arrest!" but the blood-marked page stalls them. Vivian lifts the document to the vlogger's lens. "Don't forgive me," I say. "Use me." Her eyes harden. Forgiveness traded for utility. She pockets the contract. My name becomes her weapon. Outside, Daniel's voice echoes. Stage feed in 90. We step through the unlocked door to meet him. Blood ink chip between us and ruin. Live feed drones dive closer. Their captions already label Vivian, expired spouse challenging merger. Daniel grips the podium mic. If I stop him, I'm violent security on air. If I let him speak, he murders Vivian's reputation sentence by sentence. Fourth line, my choice. Seize the mic and face assault charges before Han shareholders, or trust Vivian can shatter him with a single truth. I step back. Losing means her name dies tonight, and mine becomes the signature that buried it. Daniel begins. Velvet smooth. Ms. Monroe nobly surrendered her shares, and in return, I've kept her memory young. Witness tear explodes as board members applaud for the cameras. Vivian crosses the stage, scatters the forged waiver halves across the spotlighted floor. Paper snow that brands him liar. Legal peril spikes. Auditors mutter injunctions. She lifts the blood-stained settlement I marked. Forgery wrinkles faster than skin, she says, voice carrying to every streaming phone. Daniel counters with a muted security clip of us in a corridor long ago, implying midnight affair. Moral exposure twists. Tabloids salivate. I swipe the remote, projecting the full audit trail behind him. Transfer receipts. Vivian's capital wire. My original timestamp. The muted clip shrinks to a corner. Truth devouring rumor. Gasps ripple. Daniel's confident smile fissures. In his trembling hand, the master archive keycard. Open it, Vivian demands, or open your lawyers to perjury. At 180 words, he swipes. Hidden ledgers bloom on the screen. Shell invoices, bribes, every forged signature. Han patriarchs rise. Investors text sell orders. Guards pivot, not toward us, but toward Daniel. Vivian walks to the mic, wedding ring balanced on her thumb. "Tonight you spelled my name correctly," she says, rotating the ring so cameras catch every spin. "I haven't decided whose name vanishes next. Check tomorrow's headlines, if they still let you print them." She drops the ring. It spins, bright and unstable, refusing to settle as security drags Daniel into the shadow of his own numbers.